Welcome everyone to Monday Morning Morons for June 25th, 2018. This week, let's start out with some helpful advice for white people. Just white people. Because anything else would be racist, you see. Student group tells white folks to stop calling the cops. Yep. That guy over there breaking into your house is black, so don't call the cops. That woman over there setting your car on fire is Hispanic, so don't call the cops. How should you deal with these things? Well, thankfully, they've got some suggestions for all you racist, sexist white people. Just the white people, though. Blacks, Hispanics, Pacific Islanders, whatever. Yeah, you go right ahead and call the police if you like. But if you're white, well, that's just racist. So do these things instead. Is this merely an inconvenience to me? Can I put up with this and be okay? Do you really need that computer he's stealing? Or the TV? Or the jewelry your wife likes so much? Was your front door really necessary? Or was it just there to oppress this poor helpless black man before he rose up, threw off his chains, and kicked it in? No, I need to respond. Can I handle this on my own? Is this something I could try to talk out with the person? Yes, clearly you're only frightened because of his skin color, you racist. The gun he's wielding and the violent threats he's shouting at you are not the cause. Relax and calmly ask the gentleman if there's anything else you can give him to make his life a little more comfortable. Perhaps he'd like to rape your daughter before he leaves. After all, hundreds of years ago, some people neither of you ever knew treated some other people neither of you ever knew badly. So you owe him. If he's gay, well, offer him your son then. We have to be inclusive, you know. No, I need backup. Is there a friend, neighbor, or someone whom I could call to help me? You need help? No, not the cops, you silly racist. Call your other white friends and tell them to bring over some of their valuables too. This guy is really oppressed, and they owe him too, right? No, I need a professional. Can we use mediation to talk through what's happening, or is there an emergency response hotline I could call? Yes, actually there is an emergency hotline you could call. 911. However, that racist dispatcher might just send the police, so we better not do that. Calmly ask the gentleman if he'd be willing to have a conference call with you and your psychologist for a few moments. Let's explore what this man's real issues are and show him how much we care about helping him to overcome them. It is your fault he broke into your house after all. The least you could do is help him understand how you've oppressed him. No. If I call the police, do I understand how involving the police could impact me and the other person? All of the talking failed? Impossible! But if you really feel the need to call the police, just consider how this is likely to contribute to this poor man's oppression. I mean, they might even send him to jail. Now, do you really want to further oppress this poor soul? Wouldn't it just be better to let him take all your stuff, rape your daughter, burn down your house, and take your car to escape the white supremacist authorities? He's black. Have some compassion, you filthy racist white people. Okay, I must admit, that one took several takes. I couldn't help laughing my ass off the whole time I read that one. What's next, Bob? Professor urges math teachers to adopt social justice pedagogies. Yes, teach math the social justice way. Did your female student tell you that 2 + 2 = 5? Well, she's correct, because she feels that's the right answer. Did your male student tell you that 6 divided by 3 = 1? Well, he's black, so he's correct, because telling him he's wrong would be racist. Did that straight white male over there tell you that 1 × 1 is 1? He's clearly wrong because patriarchy. 10 lashes for him. He's a racist. Then kick his ass out of class altogether. His presence is making the class uncomfortable for all the helpless students of color. And did you see that? He looked at that girl over there. She must feel so victimized right now. Gouge out his eyes. No more objectifying women with that sexist male gaze for him. A professor at the University of Illinois Chicago is encouraging others to teach math for social justice to help fight the oppressive status quo in the United States. The struggle is pedagogical, I can't say that word, Learning to Teach Critical Mathematics was penned by Professor Eric Gutstein, I don't know which one, who writes in a new textbook that the time is nigh for social justice math considering the racist and sexist billionaire in the White House, as opposed to the racist multimillionaire who previously occupied the building, or the sexist multimillionaire we wanted to sit in the Oval Office. You see, it really is about numbers, people, and that's where math comes in. Gutstein, who notes that he once taught a math for social justice class at the Social Justice High School in Chicago. Wait, what? Social Justice High School? That's actually a thing? Holy shit! It is a thing! What the fuck? A public high school dedicated to social justice. Public, meaning taxpayer funded. We're paying for this shit? America is lost, folks. We are funding the very revolution that wants to destroy our way of life. It doesn't get any dumber than that. Gutstein argues that teaching critical mathematics isn't an option for math teachers, but rather a responsibility to our future. We are in an historical period that challenges us to action in ways that we probably cannot fully understand, Gutstein asserts. Yes, understanding is for racist, sexist, xenophobic, homophobic, white people. The rest of us just need action. What action? For what cause? To accomplish what? Fuck that. Who cares? Let's just act now. We'll worry about all that petty shit later. Get out there and protest. Something, somewhere, whatever. Teaching in critical ways is not optional in the present juncture. We have a responsibility to our future and our planet, to all life and all species, he adds. What we do in the classroom matters for today and tomorrow, and the myriad possibilities for resistance and transformation are inextricably and dialectically related to the intensity of the crisis we face. Yes, the threat has never been greater. The evil, diabolical Dark Lord Trump sits in the Oval Office. The sky is literally falling because we lost an election. The whole world is tumbling down around us, and we have to act now before it's too late. I'm not being hyperbolic at all. This is literally the single worst thing to ever happen in the entire history of mankind. Slavery? Pfft, nothing compared to having a president I don't like. The Holocaust? Simpletons. Hitler had nothing on Trump. You think 6 million Jews sent to concentration camps and slaughtered was bad? Trump said, grab 'em by the pussy. My God, man, the absolute horror. Why aren't you all outraged? All of humanity is crumbling around us because Trump talks like a man. We're doomed. Reflecting on his long-standing commitment to social justice, Gutstein laments that he has had difficulties converting other math teachers into vectors of social justice pedagogies to promote revolutionary and radical teachings. Traditional mathematics education, he complains, is not sufficient and does not address many issues necessary to critical mathematics. For example, how does one shift contexts from ostensibly apolitical ones to those that are explicitly political, he asks. How does a teacher know what contexts to choose? How to teach them in ways that bring community wisdom into the experience? Well, that's easy enough. We just restructure the questions we ask in math classes. For example, traditional math might ask a question like this. 2 trains leave a station in opposite directions. Train 1 travels at 18 miles per hour, and train 2 travels at 12 miles per hour. When will the trains be 246 miles apart? Such a silly question in today's critical thinking math class, right? Instead, we need to ask, train 1 travels at 18 miles per hour, and train 2 travels at 12 miles per hour. Why is train 1 privileged and traveling faster than train 2? Who is the racist that decided the train driven by the black engineer is number 2 instead of number 1? Are the passengers on both trains representative of the demographics of the country, or are there too many white people on them? Shouldn't those white people be giving up their seats to the poor people of color who wanted to go on vacation but can't because white supremacy still enslaves them all? And why are there still trains anyway? Don't they realize what they're doing to the environment with all that CO2 they're spewing out? My God, man, stop the trains. This whole thing has gone horribly wrong. Get out there and stand on the tracks until the federal government bans guns, impeaches Trump, declares Hillary dictator for life, and all straight white men are rounded up and sent to forced labor camps to work for free because slavery used to be a thing. Equality! Professor blames mathematics for global disparities in wealth. A professor at the University of Exeter claims in a new textbook that learning mathematics can cause collateral damage to society by training students in ethics-free thought. That's right. Consider, I have 2 apples. If I buy 2 more, how many will I have? For most of us, this would be a simple example of math. No real ethics involved here, just a simple addition problem. But you really need to consider the ethics of such a question, you heartless wretch. Why are you buying 2 more when you already have 2 now? Wouldn't it be better for all of humanity if you left those other 2 for the needy? I mean, suppose there's only 4 apples in the whole world. Why do you think you're entitled to have them all to yourself? And what about those starving people in some distant third world country I've never been to and couldn't care less about until I need some political empathy points to claim the moral high ground? How does your gluttony affect them? The Ethics of Mathematics is Mathematics Harmful was written by University of Exeter professor Paul Ernest and published as a chapter in a 2018 textbook he edited called The Philosophy of Mathematics Education Today. Despite the myriad benefits math offers to society, such as increased scientific knowledge and improved healthcare allowing us to live longer and happier lives, Ernest warns of 3 ways mathematics education causes collateral damage to society. First, Ernest asserts that the nature of pure mathematics itself leads to styles of thinking that can be damaging when applied beyond mathematics to social and human issues, since math facilitates detached and calculative reasoning. Reasoning without meanings provides a training in ethics-free thought, he writes, fretting that this masculine paradigm valorizes rules, abstraction, objectification, impersonality, unfeelingness, dispassionate reason, and analysis. Ah, there it is. I was waiting for that. Detached, emotionless, masculine thought. Because only men care how many quarters are in a dollar, or how many tons of iron they have to dig out of the ground to build the comfy air-conditioned space the women folk live in, or how many hours they'll need to work to pay for the Rolls Royce she wants to be chauffeured around in on her shopping trips. And rules? Pah! Who needs rules? We can all just do whatever we want at any time. That's how a society functions. If you want to kill that guy over there, you go right ahead. Rules be damned. You felt like it was the thing to do, and that's good enough. Second, he argues that the applications of mathematics in society can be deleterious, wow, that's a fucking mouthful word, to our humanity unless very carefully monitored and checked, worrying particularly about how math facilitates transactions of money and finance. Money, and thus mathematics, is the tool for the distribution of wealth, he states. It can therefore be argued that as the key underpinning conceptual tool, mathematics is implicated in the global disparities in wealth. Yep, Sally over there feels like she earned $2 million this year. She worked for 10 whole minutes typing her blog post, so she's absolutely earned more than that filthy straight white male over there who spends 60 hours a week throwing coal into the fire at the power plant to keep her electricity on. Fuck that guy, math be damned. Finally, Ernest worries of the personal impact math has on less successful students, especially women, since math is often perceived as a masculine and difficult subject. One of the persistent myths of the 20th century has been that females are naturally less well equipped mathematically than males, Ernest claims, albeit without acknowledging data that would complicate his theory. So 2 of the detrimental effects of images of mathematics that I shall foreground here are first the negative impact on female students following on from the masculine image of mathematics. Second, the negative impact of mathematics-related experiences and images on the attitudes and self-esteem of minority, including many girls and women, he writes. Well, there's a simple solution for that one, Ernest. Quit fucking telling them that. The only people telling girls they can't do math these days are dumbasses like you who desperately want to fix something that isn't broken. You're a white knight without a cause, so you have to manufacture one. Quit it. Problem solved. Okay, so to sum up, we need to teach social justice math because learning math is bad. What a time to be undead, huh? Social justice. when you just can't be consistent about anything. Toxic masculinity time. Woman says, "I hate white people," before attacking 2 passengers on bus. A black woman proclaimed, "I hate white people," before attacking 2 fellow passengers on a bus on Monday in Maryland, police said. Kimberly Jordan, 24, of Silver Spring, Maryland, was charged with racial harassment, obstructing, and second-degree assault due to her alleged offensive and physically painful antics, WJLA reported. Obstructing? Okay. Someone's going to have to explain that one to me. Obstructing what exactly? For everyone else, I know what you're thinking. Where's the hate crime charge? Well, stop wondering. As you can clearly see from her picture, she's black. She can't be racist, you white supremacist Nazis. Jordan was on the Ride-On bus, Montgomery County's public transportation system. Ride-On? Put a lot of thought into naming that, didn't we? When she allegedly stared at 2 passengers and said, "I hate white people." She then reportedly struck a white female passenger in her face before smacking a white male passenger in his face, police said. The female passenger suffered scratches on her palms while the male had a long cut to his nose. Good. Fucking honkies deserved it. Sitting on a bus, like, what, you're entitled to use public transportation or something, you fucking racists? Jordan fled the scene, but officers were able to catch up with her about a quarter-mile away. She told authorities the female passenger hit first, but the bus's surveillance video showed a different story. The white supremacist capitalist patriarchy clearly got to and tampered with the video before the cops saw it. Jordan said she had not taken her medication before the incident, but police told her that was not an excuse for her behavior. "I know," Jordan responded. "Well, lack of medication isn't an excuse, but don't worry, hun, you don't need that. I'm black is all the excuse you need these days. You'll be fine." The driver of the bus told officers he saw the incident and heard Jordan say, "I hate white people." Fucking liar. Just another honky trying to keep a black woman down. Jordan has a lengthy arrest record, which included theft, destruction of property, domestic violence, assault, and burglary charges, according to court documents. Well, clearly she's had a lifetime filled with white supremacists and patriarchal bullying, hasn't she? Fucking whites and men just won't let her get away with nothing. Fucking fascists, expecting this helpless victim to follow the same laws as the rest of us have to follow? Every single white person should now be completely ashamed of themselves. And every man, too. This is all your fault. How dare you oppress this strong, independent black woman with your laws? Jordan didn't do nothing. All right, Bob, let's wrap it up. What'd you find for us this week? New Hampshire man out on bail, strips naked, breaks into apartment, and choked golden retriever. What? Ah, man. Sometimes headlines are just too funny to skip. A New Hampshire man was arrested Wednesday after he stripped naked, broke into an apartment, and choked a golden retriever 2 days after he was released on bail, police said. Irakoze Ildefons, 28, was arrested after police received a call about a burglary in an apartment complex in Concord. People reported seeing a man in a bathrobe walking around the building. Ildefons eventually ditched the robe, climbed onto a porch on the 2nd floor, and smashed the door leading into the apartment, police said. The residents inside fled and took refuge in a car. The 28-year-old suspect allegedly began throwing items off the porch and stomped on broken glass as officers arrived at the scene. When officers attempted to calm Ildefons, he began throwing shards of glass at them. Police arrested Ildefons after they used a taser on him. Investigators later discovered a golden retriever who appeared to have been choked and beaten. The dog was taken to a veterinarian and is expected to recover. Ildefons was taken to a medical facility before he was moved to jail.
Drugs?
Thank you, no, I'm straight.
I meant, are you in here for drugs?
Why are you here?
Drugs.
Either he was on something, he's one of those toxic males we keep hearing about, or he's just plain nuts. You can decide for yourself. That's it for this week, folks. Remember the social justice mantra: women are victims, men are oppressors, and feminism is just about equality. I'll see you all next time.